Pleased to be joined by John Mitchell now, fighting on UAE Warriors for the first time, Cage Warriors veteran. How's it going, mate? You're training in Dubai, right?
Yeah, I'm training in Dubai now. This is fight month now. It's the 1st of June, so I cannot wait to go.
Awesome. How'd the signing with UAE Warriors come about? They seem to be doing really exciting things at the moment.
So basically, I relocated to Dubai, and I was fortunate enough to get signed by MTK. And then my manager, Carl Keller, then was talking to UAE Warriors, and I was also training with a few guys to fight in UAE Warriors. And they were talking to the matchmaker, and they thought it'd be good for me to go fight there. So that's how it happened.
Awesome. What about Cage Warriors then? Is that done for now? I mean, you 2-0, really good start to your career with them. Do you think you'll be back there, or is it kind of on to the next new path now?
Yeah, onto the next thing. Like in this game, I'm always moving forward. Like Cage Warriors was great. I got to fight for my debut on the main card of Cage Warriors in my hometown. It was fantastic. But now I'm based in Dubai. I want to build my name here, and so it's UAE Warriors from here out until I get to the UFC.
Excuse me. What kind of fight deal have you got with UAE Warriors? Are you planning to stick around there for a little bit, do you reckon?
It's all about what the powers above decide, what my management decides, you know what I mean? But yeah, look, I'm happy to fight there. It's a fantastic show, like with some really good opponents on it, international experience as well, something that I might not get back home. So yeah, I'd be happy to continue fighting there.
So June 19th card, interesting headline fight with Ray Borg on there. Of course, everyone would know from the UFC up against Jesse Arnett. How pleased are you with the way the fight card's coming together? It seems pretty stacked, and there should be a lot of eyeballs on this one.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I have a few stable mates fighting on it as well from my gym here, you know. And as well, like I met Jesse, and he's a great guy, and like he's always chomping at the bit to fight these UFC guys. And what bigger name outside the UFC now than Ray Borg? So I can't wait to be on that card. It shows the caliber of it as well, you know, because I'm fighting on the same card as ex-UFC veterans, and that's where I want to go. So it's brilliant.
Saw on your Instagram you're training with Conor recently. What's that like? What's the relationship like with him? You just training a bit together? Like, how'd that go?
Yes, it was a fantastic experience. Like we did two different sessions sparring, and like I learned so much in that time. Like just his composure and everything, and like in the spar, the way he stays so relaxed, and he's got great eyes. You know, he's always looking. And like I can be a bit of a live wire when I spar, you know, so it was so good to see like that experience level. So it was really, really good. And then I know him, I know his coaches quite well from back home. Like when I was in Ireland, I trained with John, and John was always very, very good to me. And I also trained with Owen Roddy, and he's a gent as well. So that's how it came about, you know.
It's interesting. I mean, you're 25, so you could be in your prime now. You've had a storied amateur career. You've had loads of amateur fights. Do you think you kind of manage that carefully, the moment to turn pro, now that you're 2-0? Some people, I think, maybe jump the gun a bit. They turn pro because, you know, they're desperate to. You were in IMAF in 2018 as well, which is a brilliant foundation. What was the planning like there? What was the thought behind when you wanted to turn pro, and how much experience you got under your belt?
So like Joe, I was lucky in this sport. Like from when I started to now, I've always had a really good support system around me and really good guidance. So like I met Aaron McGuire, he's my head coach back in Cork, and so what he wanted me to do was just earn my stripes in amateur. Like, you know, I was one of the most experienced amateurs in the country before I turned over. And in that, like, say when you get to pro, people get selective with their opponents and stuff like that. But like, because I fought such good level lads at amateur all the way up, like I was fighting like Russian lads, I was fighting the English #1, I was fighting all the best guys in Ireland. So by the time I went pro, I was ready for the big stage straight away. So basically our plan was in Joan Tapology rankings, there's the UK and Irish #1 rankings. And my coach's plan was, there's 868 people, I think, in my division. My coach's plan was to get to #1 of that. When I'm #1 there, then I'm ready for pro. So we no need to rush, because like, I'm 25, but I came to the sport relatively late. I came at 19, so I haven't taken a lot of damage. Like I feel like I'm 5 years off my prime, but now I've got all this experience behind me. Like between Thai boxing, boxing, and MMA, this fight in UAE Warriors is actually my 40th fight, although it's only my 3rd fight of pro. You know, so it was all nothing was done by it was all planned. You know.
How would you describe your style in there, kind of both technically and kind of who you are in there?
I think when you fight, it's always slightly reflective of your personality. Like, and you know, I like to put a big effort in. I like to put a high pace and graft, and I think that comes out in my fights as well. But also one thing that I always liked about the sport was the strategic side of it. So for example, like I've had fights where I've had like just all stand up, and I've had fights that I've just predominantly grappled. So I like to kind of do what my opponent's not good at. And I think I'm fortunate enough that because I came to the sport late, I did every like facet of MMA individually, you know what I mean? So it's just whatever like George St. Pierre's approach. Like Joe, he always used to focus on his opponent and take away their strengths, you know, and that's what I try to do as well. For example, like my pro debut against Eric Nolan was a stand-up war. My second pro fight against Alan Brokowski, I just took him down and submitted him, you know.
So your opponent Arbi Emiev is you know, a Russian. He's 1-1. How good of a look have you had at him? He's from Chechnya. You know, he won his last fight in the first round. What do you make of him? How big of a test is this for you?
Yeah, you know, he's good. He's got a good kickboxing pedigree and all that. Like, but in my sport, I think he's a novice. And so I'm looking forward to fighting him. I can't wait. He's a good name as well for me. And also my brother-in-law is Russian. So I've been kind of taking the piss out of him. Like, I'm getting one back here now for Ireland.
It's with the UFC doing so much on Fight Island, it feels like you're in exactly the right place in the Middle East, you know, with eyeballs there a lot at the moment. Have you kind of discussed that with your team, your trajectory? What, I mean, you know, a big finish, a couple of statements, and you've seen how quickly it can happen for people, right?
Oh, for sure. Like I was saying, Joe, nothing I'm doing is by mistake. Like that's only over the road. I've been to Yas Island. I've seen it. I went there for McGregor Poirier fight. You know, I can definitely see myself there, and I'm only a call away. So definitely.
Sparring with McGregor, did you get the impression? It's so funny, you know, MMA Twitter's like focused McGregor, like shaven-headed McGregor, ponytail McGregor. It's all this like mythological, you know, perceptions of the guy. But you know, does he seem to you like he's hungrier than ever? And do you think he beats Poirier in the third go?
Oh, for sure, he seems hungrier than ever. I most certainly didn't feel like he was being lackadaisical at all when he was punching me in the face. He seems laser focused, to be honest. Like, and he like as far as like you know, I kind of pride myself in leg kicks a bit, you know, and I most certainly wasn't able to kick his leg this time. So definitely like that's quickly improved upon, I think. So no fear of him.
Quality. And so finally then, mate, when all's said and done, you get your hand raised on the 18th. What is the most important thing to you that's got to happen for you in this fight? What's the most important like thing you got to tick off when you fight him, Arbi Emiev?
Just smash him, like. Show what else is there to do. Go out there, put the hands up, put the chin down, and smash him. Same thing I've done all my career, you know. And then I'll worry about what I have to do after that, you know.
Sounds good to me, mate. I'm going to be watching your career with interest. I think a lot of people will. All the best, man.
Yeah, happy days. Thank you very much for the call.